Chapter 1. The forest beckons deep within the heart of the sprawling Appalachian forest. A sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. The sun was setting, casting long, shadowy fingers between the trees. The sound of chirping birds fell silent as an eerie hush settled over the forest, as if nature itself held its breath in anticipation of something wicked. Emma Turner, a fearless adventurer with an insatiable wanderlust, found herself deep within this treacherous woodland. Armed with only her trusty hiking boots and a backpack containing essential supplies, she had embarked on a solo journey to explore the uncharted depths of the forest. As the twilight wrapped its inky tendrils around her, Emma pressed on, undeterred by the ominous atmosphere. Gripping her compass tightly, she tried to navigate her way through the dense foliage. Yet, the forest seemed to twist and turn, leading her astray, making her doubt her own sense of direction. Her steps grew heavier as fatigue set in, and a quiet unease began to creep up her spine. Shadows danced and swayed around her with each passing gust of wind, playing tricks on her mind. She quickened her pace, hoping to find her bearings before darkness consumed the forest completely. But fate had other plans in store for Emma. Out of the corner of her eye, she caught a glimpse of a pair of glowing red eyes, lurking among the trees. Her heart jumped into her throat, pounding like a drumbeat in her ears. She knew she was being watched, hunted. Frantically, she veered off the path, scrambling through underbrush and over fallen logs, desperate to escape the unseen predator. The forest seemed to close in around her as she stumbled further into the wilderness, every snap of twigs and rustle of leaves sending shivers down her spine. Her breath came in gasps as she found herself in a clearing, surrounded by towering trees. The moonlight broke through the heavy canopy, casting ethereal shadows that danced on the forest floor. Emma felt both awed and terrified, her mind a whirlwind of confusion and fear. From the depths of the forest emerged a creature unlike anything she had ever seen, a towering behemoth, covered in matted, dark fur. With each step, the ground seemed to tremble beneath its massive feet. Emma's eyes widened in pure terror as she realized she was face to face with a Bigfoot. Paralyzed with fear, Emma watched as the creature approached, its amber eyes gleaming with an inscrutable intensity. It let out a low, guttural growl, sending chills down her spine. In that moment, she knew there was no escape from its clutches. As the creature closed in, Emma's mind raced. She thought of all the stories she had heard, of curious hikers gone missing, their fate unknown. She wondered if she would become just another cautionary tale of the nightmare in the woods. But fate has a way of surprising even the most desolate souls. Will Emma find a way to escape the clutches of the Bigfoot, or will she become another victim lost in the depths of the forest? Only time would tell, as the nightmare in the woods continued to unfold. Chapter 2. Desperate shadows. Emma's heart pounded in her chest as the creature closed the distance between them, its menacing growl resonating in the stillness of the forest. She had heard tales of Bigfoot encounters, but she never imagined she would come face to face with this legendary beast. As if sensing her fear, the creature's nostrils flared, releasing a pungent musky scent into the air. Emma's instincts screamed at her to run, to find any means possible to escape the clutches of the Bigfoot, but her legs felt like lead, rooted to the spot. The creature's massive form towered over her, its eyes fixed on her with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. Emma's mind raced, desperately searching for a way out. And then, a spark of hope ignited within her. She took a deep breath, summoning every ounce of courage within her. With a burst of adrenaline, Emma dove to the side, narrowly dodging the creature's outstretched hand. Rolling onto her feet, she sprinted through the undergrowth, the sound of her own heartbeat echoing in her ears. But the creature was relentless, its heavy footsteps booming behind her. Emma's chest burned with each desperate breath, her legs aching from the exertion. Panic threatened to consume her, but she pushed forward, driven by a determination to survive. The forest around her seemed to morph and shift, the once familiar landscape now becoming an eerie labyrinth. Twisted branches reached out like gnarled fingers, threatening to ensnare her, yet she fought against the encroaching darkness. With every step, every gasp for air, Emma's will to survive grew stronger. She had heard stories of hikers lost in these woods, their screams forever silenced by an unknown fate. But she refused to become another tragic tale, another victim consumed by the nightmare in the woods. As the chase continued, Emma's senses heightened, attuned to the subtle signs of the forest. She followed the elusive calls of nocturnal creatures, their distant cries guiding her towards a sliver of hope. Through the dense underbrush, she emerged into a small clearing. Panting heavily, she collapsed to her knees, desperately searching for a way to go on. In the moonlit clearing, shadows played tricks on her weary eyes, casting sinister illusions in every direction. Emma's mind raced, trying to decipher the path forward. She knew that time was running out, that the creature was still in pursuit. With trembling hands, she reached for her backpack, rummaging through its contents for something, anything, that could help her in this desperate situation. And then, her fingers brushed against the cool metal of a flashlight. Hope flickered to life within her. Igniting the beam of light, she scanned her surroundings, searching for any sign of escape. As the beam traversed the clearing, it illuminated a faint path marked by broken branches and trampled ferns. It was a small, almost imperceptible sign, but it was enough. Emma clutched the flashlight tightly, her resolve renewed. With one last glance at the menacing shadows that enveloped the forest, she took a deep breath and plunged forward into the unknown, determined to outrun the darkness and find her way out of the nightmare in the woods. Chapter 3. The silent standoff. Emma pushed through the dense foliage, her breath coming in ragged gasps. The twisted branches clawed at her, leaving scratches on her arms and face, but she pressed on, unwilling to yield to the relentless pursuit of the Bigfoot. The flashlight's beam cut through the darkness, revealing glimpses of the treacherous terrain before her. The air grew heavy with the scent of damp earth, mingling with the musky odor that seemed to permeate every corner of the forest. Each step was accompanied by the echo of her own heartbeat, a constant reminder of the imminent danger she faced. Suddenly, a rustling sound reverberated through the forest, freezing Emma in her tracks. She focused the flashlight towards the source of the noise and her eyes widened in horror. The Bigfoot emerged from the shadows, its massive frame silhouetted against the moonlit night. Emma's mind raced as she tried to formulate a plan. The creature stood between her and safety, blocking any chance of escape. She had survived this long by sheer will, but now she had come face to face with her greatest challenge yet. Unyieldingly, the Bigfoot approached, its eyes locked onto Emma's trembling form. She knew that if she stood there, frozen in fear, it would be her undoing. With a surge of determination, she made a split-second decision. She broke into a run, veering off the path and darting into the thicket. The creature let out a primal roar of frustration, its monstrous strides closing the distance between them with terrifying speed. Emma leapt over fallen logs and skirted around bushes, her senses heightened to the utmost. She felt the creature's presence behind her, a constant reminder of its relentless pursuit. The chase seemed to go on endlessly, the forest becoming an indistinguishable blur of shapes and sounds. Emma's body ached, her muscles burned, but her spirit remained unbroken. She clung stubbornly to the glimmer of hope that still flickered within her. As exhaustion threatened to overwhelm her, Emma stumbled upon a clearing bathed in pale moonlight. She collapsed to her knees, gasping for breath, her pulse thundering in her ears. The Bigfoot loomed closer, its fierce gaze reflecting both hunger and determination. In that moment, Emma made a desperate decision. She gathered her remaining strength and turned to face the creature head-on. She met its fiery eyes with an unyielding glare, her defiance shining through the darkness like a beacon. The Bigfoot hesitated, seemingly unsure of this defiant human. The standoff lasted for what felt like an eternity, neither party willing to back down. Emma's heart pounded in her chest, her entire being focused on this make-or-break moment. Then, as if making a decision of its own, the creature let out a haunting howl that echoed through the silent forest. With one final penetrating gaze, it turned and melted back into the darkness, leaving Emma behind, breathless and bewildered. She remained there in the clearing, her body trembling with a combination of fear and relief. The nightmare in the woods had reached its climax, and Emma had emerged from the abyss, scarred but triumphant. With newfound determination, Emma picked herself up, ready to face whatever challenges still await her. She knew the darkness of the forest held many secrets, but she was not one to be easily defeated. And so, she took a deep breath, shouldered her backpack, and ventured forth into the unknown, for the nightmare in the woods had shaped her into a survivor, forever marked by its haunting embrace. Chapter 4. The light beyond. Emma trekked through the forest, her body weary but her spirit unyielding. The nightmare in the woods had left its mark on her, both physically and mentally, yet she refused to let it define her. She pushed past exhaustion and pushed forward, determined to find her way back to civilization. As the days turned into weeks, Emma's sense of direction sharpened. She relied less on her compass and more on her gut instinct, navigating through the dense foliage with a newfound confidence. The once menacing forest began to reveal hidden paths and subtle signs, guiding her towards the light beyond. Hunger gnawed at her stomach, but she scavenged for berries and edible plants, managing to sustain herself in the unforgiving wilderness. She huddled close to her campfire at night, finding solace in its crackling warmth as she watched the stars twinkle above, a reminder of a world outside the haunting woods. With each passing day, Emma's resilience grew, her determination unwavering. The forest, once an impenetrable labyrinth of fear, became a testament to her strength and courage. She became attuned to its rhythm, its hidden dangers no longer a constant threat, but rather a reminder of her own survival. And then, one fateful day, she spotted a break in the towering trees ahead. A sliver of sunlight pierced through, illuminating her path to freedom. Emma felt a surge of hope, a renewed sense of purpose. With a spring in her step, she ventured forth, each stride bringing her closer to the light beyond. The forest began to thin, the sounds of civilization growing louder. She could hear distant traffic, the low hum of human presence reaching her ears like a symphony of life. Emma quickened her pace, her heart pounding in anticipation. And then, at long last, she emerged from the forest's clutches. The world outside felt unfamiliar yet comforting, the vast expanse of open space a stark contrast to the suffocating embrace of the woods. Tears of relief streamed down her dirt-streaked face as she realized she had made it. She had defied the nightmare in the woods. Emma was met with a mix of bewilderment and admiration as she stumbled upon a group of hikers. They were in awe of her resilience, her survival against all odds. She shared her harrowing tale, recounting the horrors she faced, the relentless pursuit of the Bigfoot, and the strength that had carried her through the darkest of moments. Word of Emma's survival spread, and she became a symbol of determination and triumph. People marveled at her story, inspired by her refusal to succumb to the nightmare in the woods. She became an advocate for wilderness safety, helping others navigate the perils of the unknown with caution and preparedness. But deep within her, Emma carried the scars of the nightmare, the memories etched into her very being. She knew that the forest held secrets, dark and ancient, that would forever remain a part of her. And though she had emerged from its depths, forever changed, she still found solace in the wild, her heart forever drawn to its untamed beauty. And so, Emma ventured forth, a survivor, a beacon of hope, forever connected to the nightmare in the woods. For in that harrowing experience, she discovered a strength she never knew existed, a strength that would guide her through any future darkness she may face. Knowing that she had conquered the most formidable of nightmares,